Now week 13, wireless, connecting wireless devices. What is wireless technology? Wireless technology enables network to be easily expanded without the limitation of using cables. Yani if some area you cannot pull cable there, you still can have a connection, internet connection, okay? So one of the main advantages is you are able to provide anytime, anywhere connectivity, even for difficult to reach areas. Okay, it is easy and inexpensive to install because you don't have to pull cables, dig in the wall, pull conduits, underground cables, no. So it's cheaper. Okay, wired and wireless signals share many similarities, and they both use layer 3 and higher protocols. Now let's look at the electromagnetic spectrum. عشان we need to know what range of frequencies it is effective in. Okay, so we know that wireless uses electromagnetic waves to carry the information. What is the electromagnetic spectrum? Electromagnetic spectrum ranges from radio to television broadcast bands, visible light, X-rays, gamma rays, okay? And each one of them, they have specific range and characteristics and wavelength, okay? And some frequencies are set aside for public use. These unlicensed sections of the spectrum are incorporated into the Wi-Fi, okay? So the Wi-Fi devices that you buy, they use a specific range of frequency. Please listen to me. Because some ranges you are not allowed to use. They are reserved for the telecom company, for the military, for the police. So it's not that, oh, I will get a device, I will buy a device from anywhere outside the internet and just bring and use. No, you have to be careful. There are some public available range of frequencies. And this is common everywhere in the world, okay? So for these devices, they use unlicensed 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Bluetooth, for example, uses 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, modern wireless devices, they use 2.4, 5 giga. Okay, and they follow IEEE 8.2, 802.11 standards. So this is the IEEE standard that govern Wi-Fi. Please remember this number, okay? Wireless, WLAN meaning wireless. They are effective at OS layer 1 and 2. And they support TCP, IP, higher layers, protocols, and operating system. The most popular standard used by WLAN is referred as Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, by the way, is an abbreviation of what? Wi-Fi is an abbreviation of which word? Do you know? It's mentioned here, so that we don't forget. Yeah, the fidelity. Have you ever asked yourself why did you call it Wi-Fi? It's just an abbreviation for wireless fidelity. Okay? Association is the process where packets are exchanged between computer and access point. Okay, so your computer is exchanging with the access point. We call this, they are associated. Scanning, when the wireless device survey its surrounding for an access point. أول ما تشغل الموبايل, it's starting to find which access point is available. We call this scanning. SSID is the service set identifier. It is a string identifying an access point. It is configured in the AP, a configuration utility, and it is recommended that it is be changed from the default settings, of course, for security. When you buy an access device, change the name. Don't use the default. Even change the password, of course. Okay. So what is ward driving? Ward driving, someone drive by in the neighborhood, try to find which access point is not secured, try to hack into it. We call this ward driving. Sometimes even you see people just sitting behind a building or just sitting and using the internet. Okay. So it's the process of driving around and searching for wireless networks. When he found or she found a wireless network, the location of the wireless LAN is logged and shared with other people. Okay. And when the access to a wireless LAN is compromised, an attacker can access the network from any location. For Wi-Fi network security, there are different measures you have to follow, like authentication, MAC filtering, encryption. Authentication is process you permit entry or you don't permit use. Okay. Okay. So you use username and password. Okay. In a wireless environment, authentication, if enabled, and it must be enabled, must occur before the client can connect to the WLAN. And we have different types of authentication: PSK, EAP, and SAE. Okay. By default, wireless, they don't require authentication. Of course, you have to change that. It's not, don't keep it as open authentication. You have to configure it. Okay. Open authentication should only be used on public wireless networks or on networks where authentication will be done by another means. You know, like when you go to the mall, you connect to the access point, but then you are asked to authenticate on another application, right? Yeah. That's the meaning. Okay. So the authentication is a method to verify that the device that is attempting to connect to the network is legitimate and is trusted. Okay. After the authentication is enabled, regardless of the method used, the client must successfully pass authentication before it can associate with the access point. And we said that there are different authentication protocols. In the early days of Wi-Fi, they used web. Okay, but web is not secure. Okay, because it uses pre-configured keys to encrypt and decrypt data, and it is a string of numbers and letters. Okay, 64 bits or 128 bits, and sometimes 256, but still it's not good enough. Okay, because it is using a static key. They can hack, they can get the key. Okay, so to overcome this vulnerability is to change the key frequently, but this is not practical. Another way is to use more advanced and secure form of encryption such as WPA. WPA is more secure. And even WPA2 uses 256 bits and it creates dynamic keys. So the keys keep changing. Okay. And the version of WPA designed for home networks, they use WPA2 PSK, the one that we just used now in our lab 10. Okay. Any questions on this chapter? Another method is to use MAC address filtering. So I only allow people or devices that I have their MAC address approved. So it's time consuming to configure, but it's very secure. But what will happen? Okay, I gave you access. You are using your laptop. If you change your network card or if you change your laptop, you have to be added again. And you know the MAC address is too long. Okay. Any questions? Any questions on this chapter?